Thanks, Vanessa and Stefano.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stefano Tronci and I am Associate Principal. I work as Associate Principal and Global Impact Leader for Woods Bagot. Woods Bagot is a design firm predominantly working on architecture, interior design, and urban design across 4 regions and 16 studios. I'm based, of course, in Hong Kong studio, and from here, we specialize on retail centers and retail communities located predominantly in China and Southeast Asia. What we do as a company, we try to use our network of 16 different studios to define a cross-pollinating system that helps topics like sustainability to grow and expand and be applied to in different ways to all of our projects. Next slide, please. So one of the most important commitments, one of the most important goals that we have, which you can find in all of our documents, is ourselves at Woods Bagot being committed to safety and well-being of both planet and citizens. This because as what we call ourselves a people architecture company, we are focused on a human-centric design approach, but not just on the people, also on the communities and the environments that surround them. And we do that by trying to emulate and align with the United Nations Sustainability Goals, of course, but also by subscribing to panels such as Architects Declare, for example, in Australia and London, and preparing for a target in 2030 to become the most sustainable practice we can. Next slide. So this is a big aspirational commitment. In order to avoid being what we say greenwashing this information in our projects, but actually making sure that we come through and we provide the right performance and the right quality in the design that we do, we usually apply a number of tools and technology and innovation. So there's a design process that we follow. That in order to provide a clear understanding of what's the performance of our design and buildings once they are constructed. And when it comes to sustainability, we expand from the idea of sustainability just as a matter of metrics and performance, but rather including also human-centric, economic and socioeconomic data, cultural data, resources and wellness into the overall picture of how our design performs. Next slide, please. There are 2 very quick case studies that I'm going to show you. The first one, this is Funan. It's a mixed-use, new generation mixed-use complex in Singapore. And by itself, it represents our idea that sustainability in architecture should not stay relegated within the realms of spreadsheets and numbers and percentages, but should actually be envisioned and portrayed into the fabric of the architecture itself as an aesthetic approach to the architecture. So this building is very highly performative and has energy savings, water savings, and a number of factors that are represented then physically in a number of features, such as, for example, 7 floors high green walls and stairs connecting every single levels and green roofs that provide a number of public and accessible facilities available for everybody. Next slide. Inside, you can see how wellness and attention to the health and well-being of its users becomes predominant. To the point that we designed a 3 floors high climbing wall right at the very center of the main atrium of the shopping center. And there are a number of different platforms connected by stairs rather than escalators, where the ingenuity and creativity of the city comes to life. And that level of culture, which is so important for creating a certain level of comfort and quality, gets emphasized. And then on the rooftop of the building, in addition to green roofs and gardens, we have things like 5,000 square feet urban farms, which operates under the idea of farm to table, providing fresh organic products to the restaurants of the mall, as well as an opportunity for the education of the local community around Funan. And then the last project that I'm going to show you, it's this very recent renovation that we have done in Xi'an. It's called Dahuan 1935, and it's an old factory that rather than being demolished, we were tasked with renovating it with an adaptive reuse strategy that is very important. Reusing our buildings rather than building always new ones, because they are associated with the culture and history of a particular community. And what we did was to reimagine this shell of a factory, basically.